How's it going? 98.5 WNUW. My name is Andrew Marshall. We have a very special in-studio artist interview today. Today's guests are a two-piece, old-fashioned rock band. They have one member from Brazil and one member from Denmark, so it's a bit of a very interesting hybrid. They just released a new single called California off of their new record, The Soul of the Fabulous Courettes. Ladies and gentlemen, with me right now, we have the Courettes. How are you guys doing today?
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, thanks for having us. Hi, Andrew.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
It is so good to see you guys. If you wouldn't mind, if you could just introduce yourselves and what you do in the band.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my name is Flavia. I'm the one from Brazil, as you mentioned, and I play guitar and sing, and I write the songs.
Hey, hello, everybody. I'm Martin. I play the drums, and I'm from Denmark.
And he sings, and he writes the songs too.
Mostly drums.
Very cool dynamic. You guys released your first album in 2014, I believe, but
15.
15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how long have you guys been a band together? And how, if you wouldn't mind just telling me about how that formation process kind of happened.
We've been playing since 15, since we put out the first album. And I think, what did we play, like 6 months before this, doing the song, something like this?
Yeah, we started in 2014, I mean, making songs. The thing is, the Courettes is also a love story. So if I can talk a little bit about that, just how we met. Because Martin's former band was supporting my former band in Brazil, in a tour in Brazil in 2013. So we've been playing gigs together for 2 weeks, and, you know, we just met each other, and we were start chatting. I mean, he sit right next to me in the van, like when we just met 5 a.m. in the van. So he just sat, and then he's been sitting on my side since then. And we were very amazed how similar our record collections were, and also our music taste. So yeah, then we've been together. I mean, we were together in the last day of the tour, and then we started a long distance relationship for 2 years. And then I finally moved to Denmark in 2015. So I actually started writing the first Courettes songs on planes, you know, back and forth, Atlantic Ocean crossing. So, and that all happened very fast with the first album. That's why we say we're a band from 2015, because the very first show we did was like November 14, and there was this guy in the audience called Kim Kicks. He has a great band called Power Solo from Denmark. And then he said, well, I want to record you guys. And I said, well, we only have 8 songs. No problem. We record 8 songs. So just after our first gig, we managed to make our first album too. So it happened just very fast.
Yeah. Is Denmark kind of like the home base for you guys when you're not touring? Is that where you guys stay?
Yeah. We're based in Denmark.
Very nice. So I guess both of you could kind of have different answers for this. When did your personal musicianship start? Because you mentioned you were both in bands before the Courettes. So was it when you guys were young?
Yeah.
You started around 11, I think.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I started playing music in a very early age. I was 11, and I was music kind of discovered me. You know, I was crying in music classes because I thought the music was so beautiful, and it's my whole childhood. And my mom is a big Beatles fan, so I was growing up with a lot of Beatles at home, and my aunt was a big Rolling Stone fan, so I just had both bands. And it was I was born in the 80s. It was a very nice time for music in Brazil. Brazil was opening up for international shows. We had Rock in Rio, we had Tina Turner, we had Queen and all those bands. So it just really went into me. And also the radio back then in Brazil was very open to something that's called B-rock, Brazilian rock. So rock music has always been a part of my, growing up. And MTV Brazil arrived when I was 9, so I was all the time watching, the MTV shows, which was a great MTV, no reality shows, music. It was great. And so I found a guitar when I was 11 that my father gave to my mother, and started learning by myself, changed to the bass in a very early age, 12, something like this. So, and I've been playing in bands and had a musical education too since then.
Was it mainly kind of like North American rock and roll that was grabbing your attention? Was it, or was it like a little bit of everything, like the Brazilian
Yeah,
rock
it was
as well?
a lot of British things. I mean, the Beatles
Yeah.
and the Rolling Stones, of course, and then all the others who came after, like the Kinks. But I also been a very early fan of the Doors and the Seeds and the Sonics,
Sonics,
some
yeah.
American music, Beach Boys. I think it was like everywhere, and by the side of Brazilian rock and roll. Also with the 60s bands in Brazil, we have great 60s bands like O Mutantes, like the Mutants. If anyone wants to check that out, it's a great band. I mean, Sean Lennon is a fan, Kurt Cobain is a fan. So they have this cult statues up to nowadays. So that was a big mix up of American, British, Brazilian influences.
What about you, Martin? Was it kind of like a pretty similar, like
So
radio?
I started with talking about the music. There's that how we started up, and I started a little later. I was like 16, 17, and I started playing the drums. Always only playing the drums, and the reason why I started was because I was actually able to go to play the drums in school instead of having math. So I could, have some part of the math class, and then halfway through, I could always say, "Hey, I'm gonna go play the drums
That's
now."
a
As
win.
Anything to get you out of
in-
algebra a little bit.
after skipping math was and learning how to play the drums was like
Win-win situation.
fantastic. And I don't use math much, and I play a lot of the drums. So yeah, I think that was
It was
a
the
good
right thing to do.
prioritized
Yeah.
them correctly. Yeah, absolutely.
You guys are well into your music careers at this point. I believe this is upcoming album number 5.
Yes.
Number
5,
Number 5.
on September 27th. Was this process like majorly different than any of the other albums you've recorded? Like, what's different about the Soul of the Fabulous Courettes as opposed to like the prior albums?
So we still, we put out Back in Mono, which was really going deep in the Phil Spector productions, the Wall of Sound, and this gigantic sound he and Larry Levine could produce in the Gold Star Studios in Hollywood back then, and so this is the Wall of Sound is still the foundation of the new album, The Soul of the Fabulous Courettes, but it's we spread a little bit. We don't want to do the same album twice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's we thought, okay, we went to Hitsville, USA, and got really inspired.
Yeah, last year we played at
Last
Detroit.
year, exactly.
I said, I want to go to the Motown
So
Museum.
Wall of Sound is still the main foundation, and then we spread up a little bit more to go to the soul and the Motown and Stax and all this.
Wrecking Crew vibes.
Yeah, Wrecking Crew, and also this.
I Can Tina Turner.
And also a lot of this California sound.
Yeah.
So we took this psychedelic with a lot of 12 strings, and which we used before, but now it has a more dominant role in the album. And then we wanted, we also wanted a more contemporary sound. It's not so 60s nerdy niche as Back in Mono was, for example, or the other.
Yeah, I feel like
all
that's
the
very
older-
like a little doo-woppy even. I get.
It
Yeah,
is,
some
but
of
it's
that.
more. It's
Early
more.
60s, right?
Yeah.
It's more round. It's more produced sound. Back in Mono was insanely produced, by the way, but this is more. It's a little bit more modern
Raw.
sounding. Yeah, a little bit more 2024, and
It's like Back
So-
in Mono, it's almost like a concept album. We
Yeah.
really wanted to do like straight girl group meets garage pop, Phil Spector production. And this one, we still have it because we love it. But we want to like broaden it to other nuances of rock music that we also love. Like, for example, Beach Boys after Pet Sounds, and soul music, early soul, dirty soul music like I Can Tina Turner and Motown and Wrecking Crew, this vibe. So it's just a broaden up. Because some bands like AC/DC can have the same album 20 times and
It works.
it works. It's amazing. We love them. But we don't feel like that. We always want to take challenges, accept challenges and try to open up other artistic, influences and also, challenges, I think it's exciting when you actually a little like, oh, what should we do? That's where exciting things happen, just repeating a formula. Back in Mono was a very successful album critically and also with the audience. But it will be the easiest way would be just like, okay, let's meet 10 Bakimonos from now on, and we just don't want it. We wanna have some artistic challenges and do something slightly different. Yeah.
As someone who just recently got into your guys' discography, I appreciate that because it made everything very interesting. It was kind of a not know what to expect, especially when you throw in just a lot of the different covers you guys have done throughout your career. I noticed Irv, who you guys met out there, also noticed that you went on a series of covers in 2023. It seems they were released as singles. You got to work with Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs, as well as Dave and Sam.
Yes.
What was what was that like? Because that seems like it's pretty cool.
during COVID, we were really screwed, and financially we didn't have any money at all for 2.5 years. So suddenly Cleopatra Records from USA contacted us saying, "Hey, we have this project. We would like to see what you think about this. It's going to be remixes. We're going to have the original voices of Sam and Dave, for example, and you have to put the music. You have artistically freedom. Wow. Do what you want, but you have to use the original
vocal
voices.
Tracks.
Vocal
Okay.
tracks.
We just got the vocal tracks, and we could do whatever we want in the background.
So it's kind of indirectly working with them, but still
Exactly.
So the thing is, why we accepted this was the concept is so cool, and we could be the backing group of Sam and Dave, Johnny Thunders, so so many grassroots, so many fantastic songs and iconic songs, and we also love challenges, as Flavia said just before, because how can you do? You can't put your arms around a memory better. These kind of challenges, because you cannot do a worse what's it called, version of it. You have to at least match, and so we are super proud of all this Cleopatra record there. So
so we ended up doing 10. We didn't even know it was supposed to be 10 and supposed to be an album. After the ideas just popped up, and then I said, well, now we have 10. What about we do an album? And I said, wow, that's a great idea. So it was a pretty fun project to be a part of, and helped us during pandemic. And I think we got out of this better musicians. We usually only play our original songs. So as you say, it's always challenging to be the backing band of Johnny Thunders, for example.
Yeah.
So I think we really learned a lot in the studio, and we had a great time doing it.
And also the Cleopatra Records, the project here was so freeing for us, because we could go and we were not in a niche like we were. We felt a little bit caught in this back in mono niche there. You could only do the sound. It was so. These projects came as a miracle. It set us so much free, and this is Cleopatra is a big reason also for why the Soul of is how it turned out.
We learned a lot in the studio.
It set us free so much. We did stuff we would normally not do before, and it's really fantastic.
And we realized it also sounds good, so why not?
Great.
Yeah,
so we brought to our own stuff.
I loved it, especially that Stay, Maurice and the Zodiacs.
Yeah,
that's
a good one.
So you did those, but I also noticed there's a one-off cover of "Shake It Off" by Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of discussion with tons of people about this song. So should we do it? Should we not do it? And in the end, Flavia and I just looked at each other saying, "But hey, first of all, it's a fantastic song.
It's a very good song.
It's written by Max Martin from Sweden. He's also doing this The Weeknd and Blinded by the Lights or whatever
he's
it's
one
called.
of the toppest songwriters nowadays. Yeah.
He wrote this fantastic Justin Timberlake from Trolls is what's it called? Happy or whatever it's called. No, he did the same song. Okay, so Shake It Off is a really fantastic song.
It is.
So if you like Taylor Swift or not, but we were like,
it doesn't matter.
But we were like, but she's really cool. And she's a hard worker. She has integrity. She was in a big fight with the old record label. She re-recorded all the albums, saying
she won,
and she won. And so we were like, how can we not like her?
And
she has been hardworking for 1,000 years. She's doing really great, and So we was thinking, yeah, it's a fantastic song. So,
she's more punk than many punkers say, oh,
Yeah.
you're now playing Taylor. Well, what she did is absolutely punk.
Just as
Yeah.
rocker
she's
as
much
anyone
more
else.
punk rock
Yeah.
than many punk rockers anyway.
Yeah.
So,
So we're very proud of our version. The idea was to make we do the original version of this song from
Yes,
the 60s.
so-
she's actually doing a cover of
Yes.
that version.
Yeah.
So
So
we
I
did
think
it
we
like
nailed
that,
it.
yeah.
It was
But
a very
it-
60s vibe to it.
Yeah.
This one and the Cramps, actually, we didn't have the vocal tracks. Those are
Those
covers.
are your, yeah.
So, and Cramps is one of our favorite bands, a big influence. So that was also a pleasure.
When you decide to cover a song, is it really just like a matter of like personal taste? Like what you guys feel like covering? Like,
No,
Actually,
they,
we never have the wish of doing. We never had the wish of doing covers at all.
it's, yeah.
It's just the project with Cleopatra, which we happily accepted and thought it was a very good idea. So actually, the concept is not even ours, and
Yeah.
the selection of the song is not ours too.
No.
But it's only songs we liked it. If it was a song, we said, "Well, this song's really bad."
You have the option to be like, we don't want to
exactly.
do this.
We
Yeah.
we will not do it. So.
Mhm.
So we're very proud of the results, but we have more like this, passion of playing our own songs. You know, we never play live, for example, cover song. I really don't feel,
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't get the, the what's the name, the chills for, the excitement.
And
of-
you guys have enough material. It's not
Yes,
really,
we
you don't need to.
do. We have
The thing is,
5
we're
albums,
really
so,
proud of
yeah.
our songwriting, and so we don't feel any need of playing
Exactly.
a cover song, So I
Yes.
think we do fantastic originals, so
And you
no
do-
reason for doing covers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you do like 1 hour and a half shows with only originals. That's actually a very big. It's a very big. What's the name?
And
You
I've
really
never-
achieve something when you can make people dance and sing along original songs.
And I don't think it's a good idea doing cover songs. Actually, I think it's at least for my part. I think this when you play a show of original songs, and then perhaps many bands end off the show with a cover song.
Yes, we're seeing it.
So
a
the
lot.
thing is, many times if you have to choose a cover song, you cannot choose a cover song that's better than your own material.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's the biggest mistake so many bands do out there. It's they actually, because why should you play a cover song if you have good material? Play your good material. Don't play a cover song, and if you play a cover song, perhaps choose a worse one than your original.
Yeah.
Because then your original stuff seems much cooler. So
So
that's
bands out
yeah.
there, hear Uncle Martin.
Hear me, yeah. Advice of the day.
Yeah.
So the new record, was that mainly recorded at Star Sound
Yes.
Records? I
Yeah.
saw.
Yes.
How was that as far as the studio experience goes compared to the other,
So the
previous
last
studios that you guys have used?
So so we actually just before Back in Mono we decided to build our own studio because we wanted to do this Spectre wall of sound. So we built echo chambers, underground echo chambers. We did so many things. Bought in 2019 we spent all the money we absolutely had. Because we could see 2020 was going to be the best year so far in our career.
We had so many shows booked.
We had
It was
so
gonna
many
be
shows
so
booked.
good,
We
yeah.
could
Recoup
spend
everything.
we could recoup during the year. So we're thinking, okay, 2019,
Ta-da,
let's
yeah.
invest everything we have. And then March came. And, yeah, at least we got a really cool studio out of it.
Yeah.
And, but that's we're proud of our studio. It's a analog and digital studio.
And
Wow.
with
So
vintage gear.
A lot of outboard from the 60s, old mixing desks from the 60s, and the microphones. Everything is vintage, but we record on computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leads to a lot of cool sound.
Yeah.
It sounds fantastic, and you cannot hear the difference anymore. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it was a part of our Back in Mono project, actually. We even built a studio to do it. So it's a big part of our DNA, musical DNA, Star Sound Studios right now. So we feel comfortable, we get the sound we want. And of course, when you're recording in other studios, you always have like the times ticking, you have to do something. So we feel like the 2 first albums were very rushed the way they were produced and recorded. So it's very nice now to actually be able to explore studio possibilities, and that enable us to that our musicianship flourish it in a totally different way since Back in Mono.
Yeah. So you guys have about 3 singles out for this new record so far. California is the latest one
Yes.
yes,
with Lala Brooks.
with Lala Brooks, and the third one is coming here September 13th, and it's called Keep Dancing. But yes, California is out with featuring Lala Brooks of the Crystals. Yeah, the voice of the Do Run Run.
What's the importance of California, like, with the song? Is it about California, or is it
Yeah. Well, as we said, we started touring the U.S. last year, and we started very early touring the U.K., and it was a little bit like that. We made what we call the rock and roll pilgrim. I mean, we played Liverpool, then we would go to Strawberry Field and all that. So, okay, we have like 1 hour before soundcheck, let's go to Penny Lane. And so it's, I feel like a Waterloo Sunset with the King song. So we felt like, okay, we're going to the U.S. We grew up listening to this kind of music. So we would like to go to the key places where this music were made. So that's why we went to the Motown Museum, where the Studio A is still there, the Snake Pit. We went in Memphis to Graceland and to Al Green's Gospel Church, Stax Museum. Sun Studios, Chess Studios in Chicago. So we've been all around just collecting all these musical vibes that you have in your country. And in California, we grew up listening to the Beach Boys, all these California vibes, and also the Byrds and all the psychedelic movement of the 60s is big influences to us.
Yeah.
So it was just great to be hanging out Laurel Canyon and all this, those places, and of course it inspired us for writing songs. But mainly California speaks about touring in general, actually, and missing loved ones, because it's the biggest gift. As a touring musician, to actually, you have the chance to see the world and meet new people and be in different places. But as parents too,
it comes with a bit of a
it comes with a price. So that's a little bit about. I wanted to write a song about this, that it's so exciting that we're here, but someone is missing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the only tough part of being a touring musician, to be aware of your family.
I love that premise for a song. Is this your guys' first time touring the East Coast, or
no?
You've done it before?
Yeah, well, I'll take that, Marty.
Thanks.
We actually it's third time we're playing here. Last year we toured the East Coast too. We played New York, Washington D.C. Philadelphia is the first time, actually.
This is the first time in Philly?
Yeah, first time. And then also we did the first leg of the tour in July. We also played. It was more like Detroit but Chicago. We did Chicago too. So this is the third time playing the East Coast.
Yeah, you guys did Baltimore earlier this week.
Actually, it was 2 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was second time too, so we've been there before.
And DC as well. What are your thoughts on the whole experience so far? Coming back in 2024 at least.
Yeah, well, Baltimore was great. I think Washington D.C. was great too. We can see the audiences are growing, and it's funny because we see many bands nowadays that say, "Well, you have to be online, and then people are going to come to your shows." And what we discover, by doing, is that still the word of mouth and actually going there, playing a gig. Then 50 people come. Next time, 100 people is going to come, because that's what we've been doing all over Europe. And now we have bigger and bigger audiences, especially in the UK and France, Germany, and Spain. So we still think that building an audience, actually going out there and playing live shows, of course, doing all the digital too. So we've seen it's been more people are coming. People are spreading the word. So it's been a big pleasure to play in the U.S. It's such a, as said, we have this relation with the music tradition.
But also this part, we are hard workers, and we're proud of being hard workers. So especially we're really proud that all the followers and fans we get, it comes from hard work. So this is what we really prize. It's not just an internet sensation. We actually out there working, meeting people,
trying to sell
playing
the
for
records,
people,
and
convincing people we are good. So by playing music,
and also
not just
giving a good time to people, because live music is so important. We were marking another day that Martin's parents met in a rock show back in the days. So we were thinking, how many of us were born because actually people meet in rock shows, and live. So all this trauma with the pandemics, where people had to be at home, I think we should be so happy and give this big value that live music's still around. We survived, and especially the medium-sized venues, because we know Foo Fighters would survive it, but we were back then worried about what about the upcoming bands, because that's where actually the artists get to, just refine their craft and put their music out, you know.
Yeah.
So and slowly getting to bigger venues and building your audience. So it's so important for culture everywhere. So we're very happy that still the venues are still around.
Yeah. You guys seem like you're very natural performers, but as your audience does expand a little bit and you're playing for bigger crowds, does it start to make you a little bit nervous? Like whenever you see a crowd size that you just haven't really like played for before, do you just go up there and just do your thing?
No, we're excited to play, but we don't get nervous anymore.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, you always have this little rush before the
yeah, but that's not nervous.
Yeah, but that's not because the size of the audience at all, I think.
No.
It's just a very natural rush, which I personally kind of enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this little anxiety before doing
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
which I think is very positive, and it gets out also in musical energy. So I think we give 100% in our shows, whether it's a small venue with 50 people, 100 people, or whether it's a festival with 4,000 people, 40,000 people. So we've tried both, and we love it. We love what we do. So it's just the bigger audience have the advantage of that your music is reaching more people. But the intimate ones, sometimes they can be like a lot of fun to have this close contact with the audience, sweaty,
both.
and so that's also, I really dig that too. So
Yeah.
both are fine.
And I feel like from what I've seen, and I'll see firsthand tonight at Kung Fu
Yeah,
Necktie,
you
but you guys
will.
have a great stage presence. You do a very good job of getting the crowd involved and
Yes.
really rocking it out up there. And you guys, like, crowd sizes shouldn't worry you guys. You should be very confident in your work. I think it's very good.
Thank you. Yeah.
For this upcoming album, actually, you guys are going to go to the UK
Yes.
to tour it during the
Yes,
week
we are.
of.
During the release, yeah.
You're excited to go to a very historic place in rock and roll? Like the UK?
Absolutely. And we're signed to a British label, Damaged Goods
Damaged Goods,
Records,
yeah.
in London. Yeah, so we're very proud to be in the roster of some of our rock and roll heroes like The Damned, Billy Childish. So they have so many great bands on the roster. So for us, it's like super. Wow! Oh my God! Like we're still like pitching to that's, is it really true? So we're very happy we found our home there. So UK is always is a great place to play. I mean, we love it, and all these iconic places we've been playing, the 100 Club in London, and also Liverpool, as I mentioned before. So it's in musical history everywhere, Manchester, and so it's amazing. I mean, I love the UK too. So we're really looking forward for. We always kick out the new releases with a UK tour.
Yeah.
So back to Europe and back to the US after.
And then Spain after. And
Spain.
Yeah.
This year,
France.
it's going to be UK, and then we go to Spain right away, and then France
Denmark.
and Denmark,
Yeah.
and I think some German shows in December, and then we're done for this year. It's going to be around 150 shows again in 2024, just in 2024.
Now, you slightly alluded to this when we were talking about like the meaning of the song California, but like it's every musician's dream to tour all over the world.
Yes.
And definitely tour all the time. Do you like, it's obviously great, but do you find there's like pros and cons that come with just having such a like busy schedule and just constantly having
Of course.
occupations with it?
Yeah, of course. I think the biggest problem, I mean, the disadvantage is that you really miss your loved ones. We're actually very lucky to be a couple on tour, but we know we have many musicians, friends who are also musicians, and they miss their wives or husbands. But we miss our son a lot. And we're just very fortunate that we have a grandmother he has a great life there. We just talked to him. I mean, he says, I'm having a luxurious life. He's just, he's just having a good time being totally spoiled by the grandmother. So that's, we're fortunate to have family for, helping us out. But I think that's the biggest heartbreak of being on tour. And of course, it's for a certain kind of person. You have to be open-minded and you have to feel home everywhere. We're both like a little bit gypsies, so we see the world. I don't see you as an American, and I don't see him as a Dan. I
Everyone's
think we're all
one.
people. You
Yeah.
understand? And at the borders, they actually you see. we cross. People say, "Wow, you just toured Japan. They must be so different." And I actually think, well, I think it's actually more similar than different. Of course, there's little differences, but people are people everywhere. Maybe different colors, different languages, but what I see is people who dig music, who is like a universal language. So for us, it's like the world is just our playground, But you have to have this kind of personality if you want to be a touring musician. If you miss your own food,
For
if you
a
miss
certain
your
type
own
of person.
toilet, or if you, I don't know, So, but that would be the biggest gift to humanity if everybody got the chance to travel the world. Because I think all people who are like racist or xenophobic, it's because they didn't went around the world to see that people are people. Whenever you are, whatever you are, we all want the same thing. We all want peace and love and music. So that would be the biggest gift to the world if people could go out of their small towns and just see that we're all similar.
That's a very good point. I think it's really cool that you guys are married. I feel like that's a dynamic we have kind of not seen a ton in rock and roll. I know the White Stripes had a whole duo. Mm-hmm. They were married. Does that I'm sure it probably influences your band chemistry at all. It's probably a lot easier to write with each other and tour because you guys are used to spending time with each other.
Exactly. Yeah. Touring also, we're talking about touring again, it also takes a toll in bands. We both had bands before, and we know when you're being in the street, in the road for 3 months, the personal relations can really deteriorate quickly. You're hangover, or you haven't slept much, you're 8 hours in the same car, and then you maybe sharing rooms, and so we see many bands that actually break up because of a hardcore touring schedule, which is sad. But we know we have to take care of this because we're also a couple, not just a band. So, but I think telepathically for the music, what's the name? The music. Tightness?
Something interesting happens, and we don't quite know what it is, but there is a
chemistry.
Is a special chemistry of a couple of loved ones, and it gives a certain dynamic to the stage.
Yeah,
that we have not tried with other people.
No, exactly.
Although we've been also very tight with other bands and well rehearsed and with a good chemistry, this is something different.
So you're gearing up for another album cycle. Post this album and post the touring that you'll be doing in order to promote it, what do you guys envision next as far as 2025 goes? Or is that more of a secret?
Right now it's going to be promoting the new album. That's absolutely, because it's 25. A really fantastic album we did. And so this is next year's this plan that's going on for promoting that one, and working with this playing this as the main album for the tours.
But we always, when we put out an album, of course, we feel okay, now job is done, so we can open our heads to new influences, new
music ideas.
So that's starting to happen already now. But we don't have any concept close for upcoming releases. And of course, we just read some other day, this CEO of Spotify saying, "Oh, you think I paid too little for the songs? Just make more songs." So this guy knows nothing about art, I think, because an album takes living experiences, takes time, takes dedication, inspiration. So now we're gonna just enjoy a new album, and of course promote it all over the world, and let the new influences start to coming in our souls and our minds, and think about the 6th album at some point. But not rushing it.
Flavia and Martin, you guys have been great to have in studio. It was such a pleasure to talk to you guys.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks so much for having us.
Their new album, The Soul of the Fabulous Courettes, is coming out September 27th. You're not going to want to miss it. And you guys were just great to talk to, and I would definitely check them out, whether it be at Kung Fu Necktie or any other East Coast show that they have coming up or in the future that are bound to come back. Thank you, guys. My name has been Andrew Marshall, and you are listening to 98.5 WNUW.